Billy Blanks Jr., and I am so excited, Talent Recap fans. We have some incredible people here today. We have Ian Flanigan and Vincent Peone, guys. So if you don't know, let's just kind of talk about it real quick. Ian Flanigan was on The Voice, finishing the top series on Team Blank. An incredible voice, literally, like it's so awesome. Just one of those voices that when you hear him sing, he could sing the phone book to you. I couldn't wait to hear him talk today. By the way, the fact that he's coming to the show, he's so talented. And Vincent Peone is an incredible director. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background, let's talk about Ian. Okay, so Ian right now, he debuted his song called "Grow Up." Featuring Blake Shelton, and they had 1.2 million streams just from the get-go. And again, he was on tour supporting Trace Adkins, Chris Jansen, and then he's recording an album right now with Reviver Records. So I cannot wait to talk to him today. And Vincent Peone. Okay, first of all, this director has incredible content. I have so many questions for him. He directed for and founded the College Humor Originals Department, nominated for 2 Emmys, winner of 6 Webbies. Let's bring them on. Here they come. What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Oh, nice double peace sign. Yeah.
Double peace.
Well, like, yeah. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, please.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited to talk to both of you guys. First, I just want to play a little bit of the music video so everybody can see it because, first of all, I have so many questions about how you came up with the concept for it, but I just think it's an awesome video. So let's just play a little bit of it, okay?
Kiss me, strap off her shoulder, feel that fire. Embers in her eyes, gonna burn me higher. They say we're never gonna grow up. Well, they might be right, cause we're loud, we're alive. And tonight we're raising something colder. We thought we would one day, but hey, we ain't. Cause one day still ain't showed up. I guess we're never gonna grow up.
Wow. So first of all, incredible video. How'd you guys come together? Please tell me.
I will tell you, Vincent and I grew up in the same small upstate New York town in Saugerties, New York. We, I went every year of my life to high school. We all went to the same high school in Saugerties High. And, longest story short, my fiance Ayla and I have been huge fans of Vincent and his work and for years, and we've been trying to collaborate. And we had this vision of the song, and we were just like, hey, man, you're a genius. We want you to, if you can have a vision for this, please guide it. And he did. I'll let him give a little bit of backstory on the video. But
yes, please. I want to know.
Yeah, no, Ian, growing up, am I frozen? Can you guys see me okay?
We can see you.
Okay. No, Ian, when Ian, I've known, for so many years, as he mentioned, and, going out to see his music, him seeing my music, all very close friends of the family, very small town, and hearing about his success with The Voice, felt very serendipitous because we all knew for years, I mean, let's be honest, Ian was always killing it. We all knew that voice was special. And then, watching his success rise up, with the likes of Blake Shelton and the people from The Voice. And it was just an unbelievable serendipitous thing that, it felt like it was kind of written in the stars and destiny. And I'd been looking for an opportunity to work with Ian, outside of just knowing him, personally. So when the idea of this music video came to fruition, I immediately jumped at the opportunity and pitched Ian some stuff. It was a completely amazing and creative collaborative experience, not just with Ian, but with the record label and, making a piece that felt very kind of honest to the song. Yeah. So, that was kind of where we, sometimes we work with, jumping around from job to job and working with people. Sometimes it can be, oh, wow, this is harder than normal. This was one of those where this is the easiest thing ever. I'm not even working.
That's what I was going to ask you. So first of all, it's so cool that you guys knew each other before, and when you do see somebody that is supposed to be somewhere, and then you both are kind of rising, like that's such an incredible story. Who would have known that just by seeing the music video? You know what I mean?
Totally.
But what I wanted to ask you, you, Vincent, is that obviously with your incredible credits, you know what I mean? Like you have all this incredible talent that you've worked with. Do you yet feel the moments where you can go, I can relax into this? Because I know when you start having success, I know just from even things that I've done, you do something and the whole time you're like, when is this going to be taken away from me? So are you in that relaxed place yet?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a great point you make. I mean, there's very much an imposter syndrome to the whole thing because, when you're kind of doing what you love, like Ian is, like I am,
Yep.
you feel really grateful, and you feel grateful even to be a person who knows what they want to do. I mean, that's the first barrier of entry, right? And then it becomes more complicated when you start to see some success because you're like, wow, now I have to double down on this thing. And when is enough enough?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I totally appreciate that sentiment. Look, it's a real thing when you know what you want to do and you give it enough time, you will be successful no matter what, if it's important to you and you do it long enough.
And I was asking you earlier, Ian, and I want obviously tell the audience what for you. Obviously, you go through the voice, and everybody, when you finish a show like that, everybody expects, okay, now you're famous, and now everything is just given to you. And now they think it's just easy, and it's actually when the real work begins, right? It's when you actually have to now go and do the work. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, a show like The Voice that I was on, I can only speak for mine, but that platform is huge, and you're just grateful to be a part of it. And it's such a whirlwind constantly. Like for half a year, you're living inside of it, and then you get to a finale, and you kind of feel like, okay, I could take a break. But I mean, the night of the finale, I flew back to Florida the next day and was on tour that night.
Wow.
And
Okay. So you went right to work.
yeah, my family and I, we lived on the road, so we were touring constantly. But now, I think if you're lucky and fortunate, like I've been, you get to work with a team and grow your team. And it really becomes about the team. And as the team grows, the work grows, and, the work really begins after the show. So you're right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you guys came together for this music video, and I just know, obviously, what was that set like? Because first of all, I love the fact that you guys use older population for this music video. That just like you won me with the song, and then all of a sudden when I started watching the video and I saw the concept and the story, you completely get it, and it made me feel emotional. And I'm like, and that's what I feel is so great, obviously, about the work that you're doing, Vincent, is that it's not just, oh, I'm watching a music video. You actually made me feel, and I was smiling, and I felt good. So what made you come up with that?
That's awesome.
Thank you. It's very kind. Yeah. Comedy is at the heart of everything that I do. I'm one of the original College Humor founding members of the original video department there, which basically was the best job I've ever had, working with all my friends and making each other laugh. Like I have permanent smile wrinkles from that 10 years just out of college. And that was that's sort of like carries itself over into a lot of the work that I'm doing now, both with my company ArtClass and any sort of project that I'm involved in. So when Ian kind of approached and said, hey, let's come together and I got this track, it's an amazingly beautiful piece. I started listening to it and I was like, yeah, so like this kind of feels like it needs to be at the crossroads of funny with heart,
Yep.
And that sort of sense of like joyfulness, I thought, it telegraphs really well visually because the song is that too. So, I think there was probably like a too literal version of it that we touch sometimes. And then other times it's like, this feels a little bit more abstract and sort of expressionistic. And I think a balance is important when it comes to like, to kind of putting visuals to lyrics, because you don't ever want them to kind of, one to overstep the other. And I think we did a pretty good job of that. I really, the story is really important to me, to us, to my family. Ian knew my grandfather, who like this character is loosely based off of.
Yes.
He was like a kind of a local karaoke legend, John Ursig. So Cowboy John.
Mhm.
Cowboy John.
And I thought that, just applying that sort of like feeling of joyfulness to the idea of like, hey, getting out of your situation and making the best out of it really, spoke to kind of what the music was about.
Well, I felt it because I was watching. I was like, okay, I'm smiling. You know what I mean? And I love, I had the opportunity. I did a music video back in the day. It's a crazy story. I can tell you about it. But would you know the director Gore Verbinski? Um,
Oh,
he,
that's familiar.
yeah, he
Yeah.
directed The Ring and The Mexican and also Pirates of the Caribbean. And it was such a huge deal to work with this director. And I remember all these dancers went to the audition and they're picking one person. And I'm like, I'm never going to get this. They wanted the person to be painted green, chrome key green, but I didn't know what that was.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm going to the audition painted green. I walked in, everybody was laughing at me because I'm in these little shorts and I'm all green head to toe. And what was so crazy was I got in and I was at that place because I was like, I'm trying to be bold because I want to get the job. And it's like 300, 400 dancers here. And I was like, I'm going to leave because this is like, so I'm like, literally, it was like Mean Girls. People were sitting there like doing this thing. And
respect for actors in auditioning. It is like one of the
it's crazy. And you know what happened was he I guess they got the wind that I was going to leave. They could see I was going to leave. And so they called me in. And when I walked in, he's like, you're bold. He's like, please be good. He said, because he's like, if this works out, you have the job, whatever. And so I did the audition and he was like, wrong color green. He was like, but you can leave here knowing you have this job. And it was just one of those things, working with a director who had a vision for this music video. And it was a story, like what this was, and you feel it the whole way through when a director really knows what the song is and what they're trying to get across with it. So it was just one of those moments. So, and I saw that with this video, I was like, this is a good director. It matches with his singing and what he's telling the story of, and so you guys just did a really great job.
Oh, thank you. And by the way, everyone from Jeff Bridges to Gene Hackman auditioned for this role, but we chose Eric Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
I was like, I'm like, what, really?
it was a very easy choice. When Eric said yes, we went, oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah, we were like,
I know, but so I was going to ask you, Ian, were you flipping out when you found out that you got him?
Oh yeah, and it brings me back to the team. My manager, Jason Spiewak with JLS Management, that was a connection there with Eric. And I mean, I kind of was shocked. I was just like, really? Is this really like going down like this? Because we get Vincent in ArtClass and they're just like, way up here. And then Eric's involved. The whole thing just was like, I don't know. It's just a very humbling experience to work with such talent,
Yeah, but you deserve it. You deserve it.
Was like, yeah, let's jump in and do this. We were like, wow, we have this like amazing, person who like owns all of our hearts from like our childhood saying yes, do this. It was just like.
Truly. And so, okay, so now, Vincent, I got a question for you. I'm going to fangirl for a second because when I was going through and just kind of watching all of your stuff, I was like, what?
Can I take your coat?
Yes, you may.
Yeah. That was a day.
Oh my word.
Hi.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
I hope I get the job.
Many times over.
So, okay, I mean, I know you have like, that's just one of your things on your credit, but do you still have moments you flip out where you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this?
Yeah, that was a very stressful day to get dressed that morning, actually. I was like, wow, I don't, what are the rules for this? I have to look good, but not too good. Yeah, no, I don't want to try too hard. I don't want to be too anxious with how I dress. No, that was a great day. And Vogue is a partner of mine that I've worked with many times over. And there's a lot of trust, which when you're sort of being asked to direct two powerhouses, like unbelievable powerhouses such as Meryl Streep and Anna Wintour, there's a discipline there where you say, okay, you can freak out about it a little bit, but just make sure you wake up on time, wear something that's going to be comfortable.
Wear something that doesn't show sweaty pits from nerves.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Don't overthink it. And talk to your talent like people, I mean, that's really that's the end game, is like people want to be treated like people. And, and you get great performances out of people. The rules of improv and comedy are just like, comfort and, being supportive and nurturing. And that's my ethos when it comes to anything from that video to, our video, Ian. It was all about kind of like vibe curation, making sure that, we're able to kind of get the shots that we need and that everybody stays really inspired and that the train keeps moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ian, I want to fangirl with you for a minute. So obviously I loved your journey on The Voice. And I just want to play my favorite clip from you real fast, if that's okay.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here. In the arms of the angel, may you find some comfort here.
Oh my gosh, right? That voice, I don't like, I mean, obviously that's your voice, so it's probably just you're used to it. But for us, I'm just listening going, that is from the God. That is from the gods. That is just beautiful.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That
Truly.
song, actually, it was funny. That was a very stressful song in my time on the show. I was going to sing a different song about a day before that, so or 2 days before. And when you're on stage, you're all wired in, and for live TV, there's a countdown to when you're on TV, and then there's a countdown going in your in-ears for the band to start. And I started with the acoustic guitar on that track, and my guitar wasn't in my monitors. And
oh my God,
everything you do is live. So I'm like, I start strumming, don't hear anything, and then it's where you're just like, well, here we go. So.
Well, that's so crazy because you don't notice that at all obviously as a viewer. And it's funny, I know those things, they happen, and you just kind of have to it almost makes you zero in more and focus, right?
Yep, you just got to zone out and be like, this is what it is. I know it by practice. That's why we practice, right? But
yep. Yeah, I was telling Vincent, I was telling Ian earlier, I was on the show Shark Tank. I made history in the show Shark Tank on season 5. And again, it's one of those reality shows that when you go on, you see it as one thing, but you don't know. And I had kind of a moment like that you're talking about, where the nerves could have taken over and just ruined me. But I had to pull it together, because what happened is that show, they don't tell you when you do the show that you're going to, walk down that long hallway, the doors open up, and the sharks are going to be elevated and looking down at you. And it's called the stare down. And so they have you practice this thing called the stare down. You practice it like 3 times, and you walk down, and they're like, for shots, they're like, we just want you to stare at the sharks. They're going to stare at you, and it's going to be like 15 seconds. And so every time you practice, it's 15 seconds. Well, now they go, now you're going to tape it. The sharks are behind the doors. Start your pitch. Get ready, go. And you go, you get to the X, and they go, hold. And so you stare for 15 seconds, then 30 seconds, then 4. I was literally there for almost a minute just going, and the sharks are staring at you. So I went from going, oh my God, I know my pitch, I'm not nervous, to my mouth was like shaking. I was freaking out.
No, Bill, Bill, too, then that's totally what it is. It's not only about being talented, but being able to kind of improvise and pivot as needed. I hear similar things from my friends, throughout the years who have auditioned for SNL, where you think it's going to be, you're like ready to be funny, but then there's that classic Wayne's World joke where it's like, we're going to go 3, and they kind of they mess with you a little bit, or they'll count it off wrong just to kind of see. But I love that, watching Ian perform up there, with knowing now that you had technical problems right before that, and you still pulled it off, and you're able to pivot. You're a master improviser.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a master, because that is something that literally, I don't know how you did that without freaking out, especially when it's in your ear. That's crazy. That's insane.
Oh yeah, it's funny though. People don't realize how long those shots are. I was just thinking about you doing the stare down for 4 minutes. We've had many where it's like, stare into this picture and then comment on it while you're thinking the comments. And you're in a gigantic room with 40 people watching you talk to a picture.
Yes. So. And try not to look like a crazy person.
Yeah, you can't train for this kind of stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. So Ian, tell us, are you recording an album now? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I signed a record deal with Reviver Music. We are recording where basically I've been kind of on the road recording straight for the last month. This week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be finishing up the entire record. We got a pretty huge list of amazing artists and producers on it, from like Obie O'Brien, Phil Niccolo, and this weekend I'm working with Craig Alvin and Todd Lombardo, just out here in Nashville. And I'm really proud of it, really excited, and just honored to be able to have this opportunity, especially right now in the world. And we're going to release it at the end of June.
In the end of June. Okay. Wow. Okay. I cannot wait. Please come back to us so we can promote it. Please. I would absolutely love to.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Thank you.
So a fan is saying to you from Facebook, Anita just says, I cried on that song that day. I lost my 20-year-old son in the Navy. Wow. These are comments that are coming in live as we're doing this. She's talking about
I'm
Angel
so
when you
sorry
sing
for your
Angel.
loss. Yeah, so sorry for your loss.
Yes, absolutely. But everybody's sending you nice comments right here. Ronette says, you both deserve it because you are both super humble. True.
Thank you, Ronette.
So great. Yeah, so I'm so excited. And then what do you have coming up for you, Vincent?
I have a couple of projects that I'm working on now. We had a really awesome and unbelievable turn of events the end of last year. We were asked to do I was asked to direct a Super Bowl commercial with Will Smith, which was like unbelievable.
I saw that. It's the Fresh Prince one, right?
Yeah. I mean, I literally had Will Smith. I went to his home and filmed him, freestyling the intro on my cell phone. It's like, and it was like one of these moments where I was like, wow, like, this is like, there's the best kept secret in the world right here. Cause he hasn't really done the throwback like that, as much, he's been on to so many other big, awesome and amazing projects. And the fact that, Peacock made Bel Air, and him getting really excited about it and behind it, kind of led to this like amazing nostalgic moment that we were able to capitalize on by, kind of using this song that belongs to everybody. So, to kind of like, expand the narrative a little bit about the Fresh Prince and kind of create a baton pass for the new show Bel Air, which I heard is really great and doing really well. So that was really exciting. And since then, it's just been busy. It's been really busy. The phone's been ringing, which I'm really grateful for. And, we're going to keep going over here at ArtClass. Keep making stuff from Super Bowl ads to, Ian's video to everything in between.
I saw on your Instagram post that you were like, I can keep a secret. How long did you have to keep that secret?
I can't keep a secret.
I can't keep a secret.
So was that the secret you had to keep? Yeah. So was that you had done the commercial?
Yeah. Well, rather than, just like, Will delivered this awesome, very a cappella performance, and that served as a foundation for what we were, filming for the weeks after leading up to the Super Bowl, which was fans all over the world.
Of course. Well, look, somebody says, Ian, you're amazing. Proud to say you're from my hometown.
Hey, Emily.
It's so great. And then somebody else, Gina, is saying, Socrates loves both you. Loves you both.
Gina!
That's so great. Do you know some of these people? Amy
yes,
saying,
although people get married and their names change, but
yes. It is changed.
All right, so now I have I ask everybody some crazy questions. So just quickly, okay? They're silly. Okay, so these are two silly questions. You got to just rapid fire. Tell me the truth. Okay, here we go. Would you rather have 12-inch fingers or 12-inch toes? You got to choose one.
I don't think I can play guitar with 12-inch fingers.
Can you imagine those super long?
I think, contrary to that, I would go fingers.
I really?
You could dial in the camera.
Yeah.
You could point to something.
I would become the Nosferatu director. I would just kind of like creep around with my hands like this at all times because my fingers would just be always touching things. I
don't know about the toes, okay?
Across the room.
All right, and so the last one, this is a simple one. Would you rather laugh every time someone tells you a very serious story or something sad, or have to speak in a British accent every time you're mad? Okay.
That's a great one. I don't know. Well, I think I would take the British accent.
Yes.
Definitely, I'm with Ian. I feel like, British, when people are angry in England, they're not really it's way more like,
It sounds cute.
It's more psychological. It's like,
Yeah.
like it's like a dad telling you he's disappointed rather than yelling at you.
Yeah.
That's
a great
so
way.
true. Yeah, that's great. So thank you guys for letting me ask you my crazy questions. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate it. And please, Ian, when you have new music coming out, come on so we can, share with the fans and stuff. Okay.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I really appreciate your time. Would love to come back on and join you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Vincent. You are super talent. Honored to have you both here.
Thanks for having me. This is really fun. Appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. Can you tell them real quick where they can find you, Ian?
Oh, yeah. You can go, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, Ian Flanigan, and then ianflaniganmusic.com. We got a lot of shows and all sorts of album information coming out. So please stay in touch, and I love you guys.
Awesome. Same thing. What about you, Vincent? Where can everybody find you?
I usually post my work to Instagram. My handle's my name, Vincent Peone. Or you can check out artclasscontent.com, which is where all my work lives.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Have a good
Thanks
day,
a lot.
guys.
Take it
care,
easy.
guys.
See you later, man.